I have a new book for you. This is one that I wrote myself when I was in college. It's called The Groundhog and His Shadow. Early one Groundhog Day, Mr. Groundhog woke up and went outside to look for his shadow, just like he does every year on that day. When he got outside, he was shocked to see his shadow was not there. It was missing. Mr. Groundhog decided to walk around the forest and ask some of the other animals if they knew where his shadow was. He went back into his hole, ate a healthy breakfast, and set out to find his shadow. Eventually, Mr. Groundhog saw a squirrel that was gathering more nuts to last him the rest of the winter. Mr. Groundhog went up to him and asked, "Excuse me, friend squirrel, I have lost my shadow and wonder if you may have seen it." The squirrel said, "Nope, I haven't seen your shadow, but mine is right here with me. Good luck finding yours, Mr. Groundhog." Mr. Groundhog thanked the squirrel and continued on his way. There's the squirrel and his shadow. But the groundhog's shadow is missing. Next, he came to a deer drinking from a stream. "Excuse me, Mr. Deer, but I seem to have lost my shadow. Have you seen it?" The deer replied, "No, I haven't seen a groundhog shadow around, but I do see my own. There it is. Sorry I can't help you, Mr. Groundhog." Mr. Groundhog thanked the deer for his kindness and continued on his way through the forest. He then came to a rabbit. "Excuse me, Mr. Rabbit," the groundhog said. "Have you seen my shadow anywhere? I seem to have lost it." The rabbit thought for a little while and then replied, "No, I have not seen your shadow at all. Good luck finding it. I don't know what I'd do if I lost mine, but it always stays right by me." The groundhog thanked him for his help and continued on. Oh no, what is it? A skunk. Mr. Groundhog came upon a skunk. He decided he might as well ask for his help too. So he went up to the skunk and asked if he had seen a groundhog shadow anywhere in the forest. "Don't know." The skunk replied that he only ever sees his own shadow right next to him, and he had not seen a groundhog shadow anywhere. Mr. Groundhog began to get very tired, but he decided he must continue looking until he finds his own shadow. As he continued through the forest, he came to a big old bear. Roar! He went up to the bear and said, "Excuse me, bear, but I see you have your shadow. I was wondering if you have seen mine anywhere. I seem to have lost it." "No, I'm sorry, I have not seen it, and I cannot help you, Mr. Groundhog," replied the bear. Mr. Groundhog graciously thanked the bear and decided to go home. He was tired of searching the forest for his shadow. On his way home, a little bird, whose shadow was trailing behind, stopped him. The bird said, "Mr. Groundhog, I heard from some of the forest animals that you have been searching for your shadow." The groundhog replied, "Yes, I've been looking for it all day and I cannot find it anywhere." The bird said, "I see it." Mr. Groundhog became very excited and asked the bird, "Where?" The little bird replied, "It's right behind you. It's been following you all day. It was never lost. There's the groundhog's shadow. Hooray!" Mr. Groundhog was so excited. His shadow was not missing after all. He thanked the little bird for his help. He then went home to sleep for the 6 more weeks of winter that were to come because he saw his shadow on Groundhog Day. The end.